Hello and welcome everyone, this is Botany and Board. I am Bailey and today I am back for you all for another marathon playthrough. So this is not an all-day marathon necessarily, but what I did was kind of just take in random days, so that some of this is from July, some of it from a couple weeks ago. And so you'll have 6 hours of gaming footage still down to this 40 minutes free wall. So I'm starting off with the Numbsters from Button Shy. And so on this game, so on your turn, you're going to flip out a card to the very far right. You'll see that the 8 is pink, that is the mouth. So on each turn, the mouth must be placed between 2 cards. And one number needs to eat the other number. Well, if it's chronological, the small number will eat the next number. If you don't have that set up where the mouth is in between 2 chronological numbers, you'll have to use the special ability of the card on the very far right. When you use the card on the very far right, then you go ahead and apply the special ability, eat whatever the card is that you would want to eat, and then you move it to the very far left. I win if I manage to get through all of the cards and I only have the mouth on the left and one last card left on the right. Because if the mouth ever gets all the way to the right, you lose. So this is a nice little puzzle game. It's quick, doesn't take up much table space, but it is fun to try to win. I have not won just yet. It's very tricky at the very end in order to work it out where the mouth, even if you ended up with like 2 cards, right? So you have like the 1 and the 2 is all you had left at the end, and then the 8. If the 1 would eat the 2, and the 1 was on the left, and then the mouth, and then the 2. If the 1 eats the 2, then the mouth will end up at the end of the game on the right, which means you will end up losing. So very tricky, but very fun. I lost that round, so I'm going ahead and set it up again here. That's what I like most about it almost, is just like, it's so quick to get out to where I'm like, yep, I can get this out and play. If I only have 10 minutes, I'm like, I can play this one. Also, this is like really off topic, but did any of you guys ever watch Richard Scarry's like learn how to count? Because the artwork kind of reminds me of that a little bit, because they was always just kind of a little bit quirky characters and whatnot, very like bright, colorful, and that's how I learned how to count. So it's also a little nostalgic for me in this the look of it. Okay, next up we have Avant. So what drew me in on this one, honestly, was the artwork. I think it's so clean, so vibrant. I really love that. And also, after getting the game, it has a lot of replayability, because you'll see those, see how it has like 2 through 7 there? Those are the different patrons that you can use, and so there's effectively a little whole deck there, so you can use different ones, and that is the special ability of the 2 and the special ability of the 3. So it offers lots of variability depending on which different combo of people you're using. And the game in general, I would say, is just a nice little trying to work out your pattern and use the special abilities in the appropriate way in order to be able to play the most of your cards. So I'm kind of doing a little rules refresher because I'd only played it once before I had started this playthrough. I've only played it solo as well, so I can't really speak to the 2-player, but I do like it solo. Again, nice quick little game. The goal of the solo game is I'm trying to get 8 awards before the end of the game. There's that little face there that's like red and purple. So at the end of each round, I'm going to be moving that to the 2, and then the 3, 4, 5, 6. I have to win and get all 8 awards before I get that face to the very far right. So what you're going to do, so if you'll have the same number or same color, so I have played those because you'll see that I went from 1 to 1 and then blue, blue, blue kept going. So either the same number or the same color. And then in addition, for instance, 4, the special ability there is like it can change color, and all of those have different special abilities. You're just trying to work it out to get the most cards out, because at the end of the round, however many cards you were able to play, that's how many dollars you have to spend. So if I have that many dollars, then I could buy the 7 if I had played 7 cards. And then in addition, how many awards do you get? Well, or how do I get the awards? I need to have spent a certain amount. Let me actually so you can see. So $6, if I had 6 cards laid out, that would have actually given me $6 of buying power, which means I get to pick out things that cost 6, but also I get an award if I were to have 8, and it kind of keeps going up. So 11, you get 4 awards if you were ever able to get out 11 cards. And you start with 7 cards. So like the 5, for instance, I had the special ability of choose draw a card or get $1, so I chose the draw. So on that one, I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Special ability of the 6. So I'm at the second to last round. It's like I have 6 awards down there, so I need to get the last 2 awards. Assembling 4s, blues, and then trying to figure out how to get that 12 and the 2 to be played. In the 4 special ability, I can change the card's number to a 1 through 7 or change the color. So I went 4, 4, 4, blue, blue, but I'm trying to work out how to get the... So I effectively changed the red 4 to a yellow, so that made it yellow, 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 and then a yellow 4 to a 4, and then so on. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I use the 5 ability though to draw a card, so now I have this extra 1. So I will swap the 5 and the 1, that way I can still play that. There's 8 cards there, and 8 gives me 2 awards, so I just did it. Yay! And that is Avant Carde. Hello friends, we're going to play some more Gentle Rain, because I'm going to just keep playing this game until I can get to 21 points. I've gotten to 17 once and 18 once, and those are my 2 highest. Yeah? It was in the back of my purse. Oh, no, it's in the back of the backpack. Back of my backpack, which is upstairs. gonna try to play again, because obviously 10 is not 21. Magic shuffle. 21 shuffle. Hopefully. I have too many blue and yellows set up here on accident. Just gonna leave that. It is a piece that can exist, so I'm just gonna go for it. Well, that doesn't really help, I guess. But now, if I get that, I will have 4. So this is all plain risky, I guess. Blue or white? Blue or white? I do have a lot of blue on the outskirts, but I have whites. I'm gonna go white. Should've went blue. Should've went blue. And another one for that, but this one. Aha. So we still did it, but only 8 points for that one.
You weigh me down. You don't care, no one measures up to you. One day soon you'll taste that medicine of yours, and karma will hit you hard. Oh, it's about to blow up in your face. Excuses, cards, and bling want me to play. Give me a break.
Okay, next up we have the art project. So we have yet to win this thing. It is very hard, but I really like this game. So the most interesting thing about it, I think it's really exciting because it has 4 different maps that are included. We've only played with the one because we kept trying to like win. We still haven't, but I'm about ready to just maybe try a different one. But the thing that I think is so fun about this one is the way your actions work. Your actions and resource management. So I'll wait until I lay out a card so I can use one as an example for you. But effectively, the goal of the game is we are trying to get out all of those packages. See how there is little boxes, like crates? We were trying to get all the way up to where it says 25. Fill all of those up with crates. So we have solidified, we got one box so far. But what I want to point out is in the little van, those are where our current resources are sitting. So we have a gas can, a walkie-talkie, and 4 guns. So on your turn, you'll see those cards we have over there. The first round it costs me 2 hearts, for instance, on the card at the right. And then it says I need to put 2 hands out at the space that had the little bodysuit guy there, but then it'll give me 2 guns and a walkie-talkie for the supply. And then at the very bottom, you'll see it has 2 film strips. Well, once you get 3 symbols of those, you're able to put the crate out onto that city. So you can move in lots of different ways. So those white hands, they are against you, effectively. And so you need to roll your die, and you have to be able to beat that amount. So currently, it already starts at, now that we have 2 packages up there, 10. In that red box, how it says 10, that means I have to roll a total of 10 plus 1 for every white hand that was there. So we had so many white hands up there on the Mona Lisa that we just let that city go. So we have 2 rundown cities already. If we were to get our 3rd rundown city, we would actually lose the game. But we decided just to kind of forego those cities and try to just corral down and manage at the bottom. But like the resource planning and how everything kind of like comes about is just very interesting. And there is kind of like some communication, but you can't like openly like share like what your card is, but you can say certain things like, like for instance, I needed to use that walkie-talkie if I went up on the other one. So, and you can kind of say like, oh, I need a gun in order to play that card over there. So you can say little things like that. Yeah, I really like this game. We still have not won, but I do think it's a really good time, and it has good replayability, especially if you ever want to try to win, because you'll have to keep going. The other thing I haven't described to you is the black die. So the black die are effectively extra like in the pool. So in order to unlock them, you have to spend walkie-talkies, and so the more crates you have, you'll see how it goes like in the black. It was 6, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3. So it only costs us 5 walkie-talkies currently to unlock an extra die, so that when you go to try to attack, you can roll all the black die you have unlocked as well. You also can show up at the same city, so white and I could be at the same one and both try to fight, which is usually what you have to do once you start getting any white hands up there, but currently we're too far apart. So we spin our walkie-talkies, we got an extra die, so white is rolling. We did this thing. And those white hands over there beside the crates, so those are also in addition. So anytime something was set out, supposed to be, a white hand is supposed to be set out on a city that is already overrun with the red hands, then you have to, instead of putting it on the city, you have to put it over there. And that already permanently adds a plus white hand to the amount that we have to beat. Okay, and next we have Spectral. So this is a deduction game, and you guys, if you've been here a while, you know that I love deduction. Wyatt is okay on deduction. But in Spectral, you are, I don't know, I'm going to call you a sponger because I could never figure out what exactly they are called, but cave dwellers, and they are trying to search for gems. So you win if you get the most points via those gems. So you're trying to use deduction in order to figure out where the gems are and where the curses are. You have little explorers, and so if you figure out where they are and you have a little body standing on the side of it, then you will get those 12 points. If your people are on both sides, you would get the full 12 points of the gem. If you were on one side and your opponent was on the other side, then you would then split the gem of 12 points and make it 6 and 6. We started with the intro variant level where we reveal the 4 middle cards and go ahead and start with them face up, so it makes the game just a little bit speedier. So all of that is public information. So we already realized that we don't really want to be anywhere on those first 2 because we see already they have curses. And if there's a curse a place where there's a gem, then the gem goes goodbye because you're cursed before you. I guess you get to die with your treasure or something. And then, so the other interesting thing about this is you'll see how there's the number of people. So you have 1, 2, and 4. So if someone else, for instance, so I have one little card sitting there on that one at the top right, Wyatt could then replace me as long as he uses more explorers than me. So if he had one of his 2s or one of his 4s, he can then take my spot and kick my little cave guy out. So the only reason why you might not want to do that is because each one of those people is worth 4 that you don't use. So if you save your 2 ones that are 4, those are worth 16 points at the end of the game. So you better hope that you're having at least like 2 gems over there if you're really trying to put your 4 out, in my opinion, at least. I haven't tried, we've only played this a couple times, we need to get it out. Again, I love the look of it though, like it's just so vibrant and so pretty, and those nice chunky bits for the jewels. That is the deluxe edition, but the gems are pretty, even the cardboard ones. And then you have a little clue book, and so it kind of tells you, for instance, like how the different things work. So it'll say in the middle whether it's a gem or a curse is coming out, and then it tells you the location of it by using the symbol. So for instance, that one where it has like the half moon, that means that it is mirrored across the axis is where the gem is, and so you don't put any of the gems out until the very end. So that's what we are going through and doing right now, is we are putting out all the gems, and then we will go ahead and score for who is standing around and actually gets those things. You'll see that I am kicking Wyatt's tail. So now onto another game designed by the same designer, Ryan Quinn. Trailblazers. And I love Trailblazers oh so much. It is one of my all-time favorite games at this point. I've just learned that I really enjoy any kind of like a tile lane that has like a route, or where it's very rewarding, or like just like it makes sense and it's pretty to like join the path kind of thing. Like Curious Cargo, I'm thinking of that. Even Carcassonne, which, spoiler alert, is next. Yeah, I just love being able to lay the tile out and make the pattern that you are trying to make. So I do have a full-length playthrough of Trailblazers on the channel, so you can go check that out. So many different gameplay modes. It's not an expensive game to pick up. There's even a travel size one that you can get as well, which I didn't get, but I might. It comes in a little like travelable case. And so I am currently doing the solo campaign. So I am on Voyager number 2. So to get to Voyager, you have to be able to beat just regularly, score 50 points. And then I am on Voyager number 2, which means I'm using confined quarters. And on the confined quarters, oh, there was hello Wyatt. On confined quarters, I have to actually, before the last round starts, I have to make sure that I have completely surrounded 2 of my camps completely. So I'm trying to do it with the blue and the red is what I've done to fulfill my confined quarters. But then on top of that, I still have to try to get 50 points. So I've been trying to win this thing for quite some time, and I still not won this one. And I did not win. But I love it so much. I have not played with the Sasquatch expansion yet, but I do have that. And then I was coming back to play more A Gentle Rain because I'm just obsessed with this game and play it all the time. Also, I'll use this moment to just say hello to all my lovely subscribers. I hope you are having a lovely week. Looking at you, Todd, Chris, Greg, Kelly, all you that like take time to comment all the time. It means so much to me. So hello, thank you, I appreciate you. And Todd, thank you for checking on me yesterday. Being like, where's your video? Also, if you could and you don't mind and you like this video, please hit the like button. It will help YouTube decide that it's a good enough video to show someone else. So please do that. If it doesn't kill you and you didn't mind the footage, please hit the like button. It will certainly help me. In addition, if you want to leave a comment, I always love chatting with everybody in the comments. And actually, for this little episode, I've seen some different channels do this before. Sorry, my daughters are walking around click-clacking in the background. But leave me a ghost emoji, and that will let me know that you were listening to this part. And I'll see all the little ghosts, which I love. So, it is currently September 28th, not when I recorded this. I recorded this, probably like beginning of September, but I'm voicing over today on September 28th. So I have all my fall stuff out, and I'm very excited. So, anyways, back to what we're doing here. Miss over Carcassonne. So I love this one, which I love regular Carcassonne, so no surprise. And then this is the co-op version. So we are adding in here an element of the ghosts. And who doesn't love those little ghosts? So they are very tricky to actually manage that supply. Most of the time that I lose, it is because I run out of ghosts. So each time you reveal a tile that has ghosts on it, you have to put out that many ghosts. However, if you continue, like I did just there, it continued an already started like ghost stream, so then you get to put out one less. And you're probably like, well, how do you ever put the ghosts back in your supply? Great question, great question. Well, you can do that one of two ways. If you close off the mist, it will allow all those ghosts to go back into the supply. If you don't close off a mist, but instead you were eligible to score something, like you just closed off a road or just closed off like a small city or something, instead of scoring for that city, you could then forego it and then pick one tile and clear off 3. It has to be like an adjacent tile, I believe. I'd have to look that up to verify. So those are the only 2 ways you can put the ghost back in the supply. But obviously the most efficient way in order to try to still score, because you need to get 50 points in order to win on this first mission. This is just like the level 1. And so I'm not playing with the cemetery tiles and whatnot yet. That'll be on level 2, and you actually try to score 75 points in that regard. But I'm just doing the level 1 and trying to score the 50 points. And you'll also notice that there's lots of different color meeples. So those all belong to me. And the one interesting thing about it though is you can do combo scoring. So you can't ever put a meeple into a city if another one of your meeples is already standing there. However, you'll see how on my one city up there to the top right, I have the red meeple and the pink meeple and the green meeple all standing on that city. And the reason I was able to do that is because they were disconnected at the time that I put my person out there. And so that is like one of the best ways to score the most points, is to get a big disconnected city that has like lots of your meeples, because you'll score that many times. You don't have to half it with them. It's actually like a double scoring mechanic. And then yeah, closing off the mist is my other try to do that as much as possible. So I lost the first game, so then I sent it back up here to play another. I actually am gonna play this 2 more times, so yeah, I'll just put on a little background for you all, and you can listen to that. Maybe you can go purchase the game while you wait. Okay, and the last game we have for today is Nova Luna. So as well, I have a full-length playthrough of this one on my channel if you want the full go around and explanation. But I will tell you a little bit how it's working. So you'll see I have two little discs over there, and so you'll see that the top one has less discs. So the first one has 8 and the bottom one has 13. I am trying to set out all these tiles in front of me and satisfy the goals. Whenever I satisfy the goal, I get to take one of my white little pucks and cover up the circle. And I want to do that in the least amount of time as possible. And you're like, what is time? Well, time is that depicted on that round circle there. So like 3, 6, that kind of thing. 7, 2. So you'll see that the ones that cost more time usually have gold discs that are easier to satisfy versus like that 2. It needs to have 4 red, not including its own tile. So 4 different red tiles next to it that's adjacent. And that obviously is very hard to do. Or a connection of 4. They don't have to always be adjacent, but it does have to, well, at least one does of the connecting rungs. I hadn't played it in a while, so I was just double verifying some rules because I wanted to see. I couldn't remember if you could count your own tile, but you could not. So I was debating that with the 2 blue. I thought about putting it down there by all those other blue, but then it would not actually count itself. And I did really terrible that round. So the way scoring works is I added up then all those times. So the 2 plus the 3 plus the 4, 4, 2, 3, 3, 7, 3, 1, 3. That was the amount of time I'd spent, which was 35. Then I also got a penalty of 50 because you'll see I had 5 pucks left. So I was supposed to, before I had to refill the display, my goal was to try to get all my gold discs out, but I did not. And that's just kind of how it shakes out sometimes in the solo mode. So I'd say this game is a little bit stronger in the multiplayer than it is in the solo, just by virtue of that, but it's still a really good time. Nice, quick, easy game to pull out. So what I'm going to do on the second time then is try to get out all my gold discs and hopefully get where I don't have a penalty for the second time. Add up all the time in my little grid again. So everything that you spent on round 1, the 35, it gets recounted again for the second one. And then the goal is to get under 100. And as you can tell, I definitely don't end up doing that because I got 85 on the round 1. But that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But it's a nice, fun little, like, trying to puzzle out and satisfy all the goals. I find it very relaxing. And since it's so abstract, I also find that I can put on something else in the background, like an audiobook or, like, have a movie on that I've, like, seen before, you know. So I always like that. I feel like there's just so little time in life that I'm like, I feel like I have to multitask everything I do so that I feel like I'm, like, achieving more. Which probably means I'm, like, doing 2 things half-assed. But, you know. It makes me feel good, so. And I was able to do it. So I didn't get any penalties, so that's great. But I spent then 76 in total time. So 161 total, which is not great. But with that, you guys, that is our solo marathon for today. I'll also have a playthrough of Tiny Towns coming out later in similar fashion. So thank you guys, appreciate you, and I will see you next time.